Moore interview was great, but not encouraging. Kyle is the last guy who has patience / time to mentor / teach arrogant Rosen the way Morris says is needed. All right, let me ask you, can the 49ers bring out Josh Rosen's full potential? Because Morris said if anyone could, Kyle and the Niners could. But he also kind of said it's up to Josh.
If anybody could, Kyle can. That's it, that's it. And I think that's what everybody, is feeling about Sam Darnold, even if, I'm not all the way dead set on that, because my thing with like Rosen and Sam Darnold is that people say things with their chest so like heavy, like he'll be great here. You know that for a fact? I get you. Sure. I get the thought process. Thought process. And yes, that is true. But when people, Sam will come over here and he'll be great. Maybe. Why are you saying it with your chest all out like That's the part that gets me scared. Again, what do I know? What do I predict? I'm not a fan of being able to try to predict something and try to untap. So if you have those same thoughts about Sam, you have to have those same thoughts with Josh Rosen, right? And if anybody wants to, or if anybody is capable, is coach and he can do it, But again, we have to see him a little bit in camp. I have to see what he looks like in camp, I need to see. And I don't try to the arrogant narrative. That's something that's been pushed for some. Like I never see that. Like he's just standing on the sideline. I don't know where that really came from, or was it just part of his pre-draft interview rounds? Was that it?
Well, I mean, it's from what Jim Morris said in the interview today. I mean, he has the issue with Rosen is maturity. Like I told you that story a couple of weeks ago. The kid who was at the Manning Passing Academy and Rosen was his counselor. He's like, yeah, nice kid. I really like Rosen. Smart, engaging. Late every day. And I told that to Jim Moore and he was like, yeah.
Wow.
And it's like, okay. And he also said like, as a coach, you never want a kid to tell you, I got it. Cause you don't. And that's why I'm a coach. And he said, that's all Josh would say is I got it. And so like, that's just immaturity, man. That's like you were told at a young age that you're the best quarterback in the country and you feel like everyone's beneath you. Like, okay, now you're 24 and you're this close to being totally washed out of the league with no second chance. What are you going to do about it, man? Can you mature enough right now to stay in the league? And you know what? It's encouraging. Like he went to the practice squad in Tampa Bay and didn't quit. He stuck with it. Then he came to the Niners and he didn't ask to talk to the press. He was just grinding. So maybe he has. I'm not going to write him off. He's very young. And when I was that age, I was very immature. Very immature.
I'm very immature now, and so I mean I get it. I never knew any of those things. I had known that was a narrative that was out there. I just try not to, I guess, embrace a narrative without understanding the fine parts of the details. So I mean, if he's late all the time, that I got it thing is really troubling, especially because you're just jumping into the league right now. And again, when someone is in front of me that I can learn from, it's best to be quiet. Take your notes and just be quiet and learn as much as you can, and that's it. And that is a sign of immaturity.
Now, if his attitude at UCLA was, who are you, Jim Mora? If you were a really good coach, you'd be in the NFL. Well, that's immature, and that's not right. But I can understand certain athletes having that kind of immature attitude. You can't act that way around Kyle Shanahan. You can't – if Kyle says something to you and you act like you know better, actually, Jim Mora said it on the record, you're a fool. And he said – and Josh Rosen is not a fool. So in that sense, I do think Kyle Shanahan can stimulate Josh Rosen, who seems to he's like the smartest kid in the class, And if you're not the best teacher, he'll know it. And he'll slack off. He'll talk back. He won't do his homework. And you'll bring out the bad student in him. But you can't do that around Kyle Shanahan. If he does that around Kyle Shanahan, then I got to wonder, dude, did you really want to play football? Or did you just want to say that you were in the league for a minute? And I don't know if he's like that. It's possible he's like that. Some people are
troubling. I had a similar experience in school too. When I realized that everything that they were teaching me in history was BS, I was just like, I'm not listening to this anymore, because I had done my independent research and things like that. And that is a sign of immaturity, because I did that in high school. But you're a grown man now, and you know that your time in this league is short. If you're not here to repair whatever narrative that is around you, then it's true what you're saying. Then he absolutely doesn't care, and he's just still stuck in the ways that everybody was worried about.
What's crazy is that that people compared him to Aaron Rodgers, and maybe Rodgers did have the same temperament, the same attitude. I think he did, but he had the skill to back it up. But also, dude sat on the bench for 3 years. Like, Josh Rosen's career has fallen apart before Aaron Rodgers ever had to do a thing. And that's another reason to feel like Rosen may have a chance, because back in the day when we were growing up, these kids sat for a while. It wasn't like, hey, man, go play on a bad team, and if you suck, you're out of the league before you're 24. Like, that's kind of crazy.
Rosen's situation has changed the way you evaluate all quarterbacks now. Now you are on borrowed time every minute that you are in this league. Remember, again, and I hate to keep saying it, what if Buffalo said after year 2, we're done with Josh Allen? This guy can't hit anybody. He's throwing interceptions. He's throwing the ball everywhere. That's the part that at least gives me that hope with Rosen, because the way that you evaluate quarterbacks now is completely skewed, because you draft Josh Rosen and then you kick him out and then you draft Kyler Murray. And that was unheard of. People, old NFL coaches punched the air probably at that thought process, and that you give him time, give him a shot. Like, even Dave Gettleman right now, he's caping for Daniel Jones because he's old school thought process of the kid needs time. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, and that's the thing that's really weird, is that Josh Rosen, his situation has affected how everyone else evaluates quarterbacks, and it's scary, honestly, going forward.
So, the Niners probably can bring out the best in Josh.
If anybody can.
You're watching, but Josh, if you're watching, this is a you issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever watch Boogie Nights? That's a YP.
That's a you problem.
This is a you issue. It's a you problem, Josh. You need to, because here's the thing. Nick Mullins. You were on the team. You were around him. Why is Nick Mullins in the league? Why is Nick Mullins where he is? Because he's obsessed with football. He doesn't just like it. It's everything for him. And if it doesn't work out, you know what he's going to do? Be a coach. If it doesn't work out for him as a player, he's still going to be here in the world of football. He has something to offer the world of football. Do you? You do, Josh. You just have to want it like Nick Mullins wants it. And maybe being exposed to someone like that can awaken. It's like, man, I got 8 times the natural ability of this kid, Nick Mullins, who's kicking my ass right here and starting, and I'm over here like holding a clipboard because of my attitude. Like, that's what it is. I can do that. I'm smart enough. I can do that. Maybe he just needed a 23-year-old needed it to click. I also think if they were to bring in, I've been talking about the ideal bridge quarterback, someone like Alex Smith. God, what better mentor to show you this is how you're a pro. This is how you be a pro. This is how you change someone's perception of you. No one's done it better than Alex Smith. No one had more expectations than number 1 pick Alex Smith. All I'm saying.
And Alex Smith isn't done in this game either. So again, no matter what happens, he'll be somebody that sticks around as a coach as well too, because of all those things that you mentioned. He's literally seen it all in his time as an NFL quarterback.
CJ says, can we talk about Gregory Rousseau, 6'7", 6'8", speed rusher, took a year off, stock dropped, solid edge rusher, him and Bosa Kinlaw close to 2019. You got any opinions on him?
He scares me a little because of his bend. He's too tall. Sometimes he can't get underneath those outside, tackles and things like that. I understand the freakish, attitude, the freakish abilities, and I see all of that as well. My concern would be bend and trying to win against faster tackles in this league that, again, you can beat up on college people all the time when you have to go up against a Trent Williams or a Bakhtiari and things like that. Can you win? Can you win consistently? And that's really where I get nervous. If you're going to draft him, then you're drafting him with the expectations that eventually he'll come along. I don't see Rousseau coming in immediately and being like this, like blow up edge guy. If there is one guy that kind of profiles for the 49ers, it's Azeez Ojulari. And again, shout out Jordan, his splash cousin. He put me onto him. He profiles like how D Ford plays. Fast guy, moves with hands. And, again, they're looking to replicate success from 2019. You can't do that with D Ford, obviously, at this point for obvious reasons. So if you're trying to replicate that on defense, that would be the guy that probably makes more sense right there. And again, I'm not taking credit for that. I've just been trying to watch as many other people that aren't quarterbacks now and trying to figure out how to fill out this roster. And he's somebody that jumps right off the board at me.
Tony, I lost your question. It's gone. Please put it in the comment section in all caps. I'll get to it. Shay says trade number 10 for the number 10. Trade number 10 for the second and third. Use all third-round picks this year, first and next year's first and a second this year to go get Fields, stop playing, get the quarterback. Well, look, I can't follow that. But you say it all ends up with go get Fields, stop playing, get the quarterback. Dude, I really think that Kyle agrees with Christian.
I think so too, and I don't know anything. I think so too, Shay. Honestly, look, I know that there's a large portion of this fan base that is not going to like it. They're not. I am not one of those people. I've been on board with it the entire time, but I think the same thing as well.
Yes.
I really do.
I really do. I really, really do. And look, I think Fields he might come in and be a straight up baller because there's a lot of things he does really well. He runs really well. He throws downfield really well. He has a cannon. But Kyle's offense is more short throws. And when Sims brought up the thing about the floppy arm and the not so quick release, I'm like, man, that sounds like it's coming straight out of Kyle Shanahan's mouth. I think Fields is going to have more success in a vertical offense, straight up, where he gets to take 7-step drops and hold it. And that's just not what the Niners are right now. So anyway, Shay, that's interesting. Last question real quick comes from Brian again. Do you guys think Shanahan's scheme with the run game can fast track a rookie quarterback's experience in a sense and player earlier, like a handicap boost?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we have been saying, if anybody can, it's these things. And I think that as much as I love play designs on passing, I think that I become more enamored with what Kyle Shanahan does in the run game, utilizing the fullback to create angles. It's beauty. It's straight up beauty. So understand
Best
that
in the league.
when you have that pressure lifted off you, that you're not going to have to throw the ball 40, 50 times because your defense is going to put you in a hole or anything like that. Like, the only reason that you would be down is because the turnovers, things like that, things that you really can't explain. So you're always going to be in an advantageous situation as quarterback of the 49ers based on the run game, based on how, if things go where Kyle sees things moving, he can pound the ball the entire game. We saw him win 2 playoff games that way, like literally stop throwing the ball. So it's great for any rookie quarterback to come in because you're not asked to be the man immediately, and if you are pushed into that position, then you still have something to fall on. That sustained offense. It's not going to be all put on your plate.
And also, like, the run game is the quarterback's best friend, and the play action passing game is the quarterback's best friend. And I think that's what the Shanahans have that's been their philosophy. Like, they look at offensive gurus trying to give quarterbacks, the greatest pass play, all the great receivers. It's like, drop back passing can only help a quarterback so much. What really helps him is a run game. What really helps him is play action.